Clench! My ass is clenched!
Oh my god, I hate
No!
it when you jump. You know when you press jump.
It wasn't clenched hard enough. I'm so sad.
No. It wasn't cleansed hard enough.
Oh, for
Yeah, it wasn't enough to make a black hole. Bitch, I will hurt you. Why are you still leader? What the fuck? I got first.
Super host.
He has super host.
Super host.
CF, they just announced it on Discord. Yeah, CC.
Wow.
Oh, 21st, 22nd.
What's the difference between 16 and 79?
60 and 70. Oh no, that was the whole set lah.
79 includes of what? Oh,
Oh.
plus
Fantastic.
17.
Are there touch and go card, notebook, detective badge, and a mug?
Because the clerk.
The illustration for
I don't know what. Oh, illustrator designed by this tree.
Okay, I thought it's my friend.
I want a touch and go card.
Oh
Look
wait,
like hers lah.
I'm out of here. Fuck you guys. Event starting.
Wait, is it?
Time
Oh.
to
Oh, it is?
go.
Okay, bye.
Betty, invite me.
Invite. Thank you.
Do you wanna?
Room opening in
Hello,
5 minutes.
invite the staff members, please.
Please.
Thank you. Don't invite everyone else.
You forgot me.
Invite me
Ah.
too. What the hell?
Same.
Fine.
Thank you.
Where's Minty?
There we go.
Did we just crash into events
What
or
do you mean
something?
no? No error. I saw
Yeah.
that.
1, 2, 3, 4.
No, you didn't.
5. Yeah, that's it. Wait, someone is missing. Is one missing? No, never mind.
People are going to be really suspicious because there's going to be like 7 people in the room.
Yeah.
It's like almost a third of the room.
Yeah.
No, and I bet they're gonna be like, okay, what else going on?
We're here to supervise Betty.
Yeah.
What? What?
Wait, there's a T-pose?
I want to choose craft.
Oh my god.
No, are you using bow? I'll be right back.
Area 51 dance. Oh.
Here are. Dame tu cosita. Is that how you say it? Dame tu cosita. Oh wait, yeah, right. I forgot. I know it. It's also in Fortnite, so.
What the fuck are you wearing?
Fashion.
Fashion.
What do you want, Nicole? Nicole, what?
They're saying room locked but 7 people. What? I mean, there's 7 staff members on.
I think I'm going to relog, guys.
I'm so happy right now.
Yeah, I can imagine. Good job.
Thanks.
Isn't it 5 minutes already? Lynn logged out. What happened?
Wait.
I'll do population check right now.
Population check.
Population check.
They're gonna be really suspicious.
Who cares?
No, said no one ever.
Whatever.
Oh lord.
Okay, we are ready. Wait, I forgot.
Wait for
Sorry.
me.
Why is the quality of the stream so crusty? I have no idea.
Crusty.
Crusty
Krusty
crap.
Krabs.
There's 65. There's 65 people on.
Oh no.
Well, rip.
How'd Tama get in
Hardboiled.
here?
This is the cheap version of the actual
Wait, how'd Tama get in here?
wings.
Oh,
Wait, what?
everyone's just getting. Everyone's just
Why
getting
are-
invited here.
Well, that's true.
Wait, shit.
Favoritism.
I'm not on yet. Oh god, I'm not on.
I look handsome. I'm handsome. Wait, did you just say?
Len, when are you coming?
Wait. I gotta restart my net.
Oh, I'm still living your cardboard fantasy as well.
Wait, I'm gonna do something.
Oh my god.
Yo, I think I gotta restart my computer. Just start without me.
Freaking Daddy. He saw the pastor because of your stream.
Wait, really?
Oh.
Oh
Well,
god,
that
so
makes
many people
sense.
joined in.
Oh my god,
that-
all the pros
well-
just walked
well-
in.
Well, that
Yeah,
actually
all the
makes sense.
Goodbye,
There's
Lynn.
Gamma.
Bye, Lynn.
Bye then.
Oh, Zen's here.
Yeah?
Zen, win this for me.
We're
Wait, hold
gonna-
up. Let's check the week winners.
No one's maxed
No
yet.
one's maxed.
Okay.
Dingus.
Yeah. There's only been one event.
Y'all, I'm gonna come in really late. Oh god. Yeah, we win for me.
No.
No.
I'm asking Zen to win it for me. What do you mean, girl?
No, Zen will send it to me.
I told them to gift me.
Tell Zen to
Hi.
give me. Kaito win for me.
I'm not, I don't think I participate in this event because it's full and I don't really want
Is
the
it-
reward.
Oh my god, Jin is here.
There's one more room.
Huh? Seriously?
There's one more room.
Jin.
I'm not even there yet. Oh god.
Fuck Jin.
Who's
Debug is
Daddy?
here. Debug is here.
There's a person named Daddy here.
Daddy.
Oh wow, daddy. Daddy.
Oh no. Wait, how many bonus rounds?
I'm just here for bonus, actually.
3 winners, 3 bonus.
Okay.
What if
oh, that's
all the
cool.
staff? What if all the staff wins?
Oh damn, that would be too many prizes.
That's
Then I would be maxed. I don't want to be maxed.
My computer is like so slow. Oh god. Kill me now.
Let's staff in for more bonus rounds.
it's full.
No, I'm not gonna excuse you.
Ear.
Has it started?
No, but it's full.
Wow. Wow. Oh, why did I log out? Oh my god.
Estelle
Yeah.
should start with 3P already. Yes. Oh no.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh Jesus Christ. Oh please.
And I'm doing
Wait,
Please
can I
don't.
wear one
Why am
hit?
I doing this as big
Can I
guy?
wear one
No.
hit?
No.
I'm not asking you.
I need to go
I'm
on the
telling you
strange
no.
account. This is sad. I'm gonna
Oh,
go
I
on the strange
can.
account. Hold on.
Should I take as big ball? One hits and special attacks are allowed. What the fuck?
Oh my god.
TYL.
Starting with game map already, I say yes.
Oh god, Egg's
Hey.
here.
Oh
Oh,
no,
oh,
it's
Number
oh,
one
Egg.
oh.
the number one
It's Egg.
complainer.
He got
Oh,
kicked.
he got kicked.
He got kicked. Who's clapping?
Your mom.
No, you.
Oh,
What's the places again? 1, 2, 3. Oh damn. I'll never be able to play this map.
never.
One hit furry. No furries.
Ah, my connection is slow as fuck. Ah,
When are you logging in, Lynn?
Furries be
Never.
gone.
dude. I'm trying to.
Oh come on.
I love that I just got stuck.
My god, these bitches need to move.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Stop pushing me, you piece of shit. Stop hitting me.
Stop hitting me.
What the
How are you
fuck?
doing,
What the
Zoe?
fuck?
Stop
Oh
hitting
my god.
me!
Stop
Oh
hitting
my
heater.
wow. Fuck off.
This is so much fun! You're Wait, are you logging in Lestrange's account?
Uh-huh.
Should I log in
That will
Nugget?
explain.
It's desperate
Should I
times.
log in Should I log in Nugget's account?
Ew, it's pretty boy.
Ew, yeah.
Open the room. Let me in. Kick someone. I don't
I'll
care.
I'll invite you. Oh, I
Oh
don't
no,
even have
Egg's back.
Lestrange added.
Okay, I'm here. Time to one free hit. Let's go.
Oh no.
I'm getting my win. Bye, guys.
Send please. Era, I'm
No.
sending you the golf set. You send me this.
No, fuck you. Give me a set. I haven't had a set in a while.
I
Sad.
gifted you the
Lynn.
painter set. I gifted you.
Mm.
I gifted you the painter set, Nick.
You did, but it's not in my warehouse.
Huh?
Benny, just play
It's not in my
speed.
gift box.
Play
Oh
speed.
wait,
It's
it
your
is. I'm
warehouse.
sorry. I'm
Oh
sorry.
my
Team
god, you
Dish.
scared me for a second. You scared
It
me
is.
for a
I'm
second.
sorry. I'm sorry.
Speed with
That's
items,
fine.
baby.
I'm sorry,
Speed.
mommy.
Wait, no, play
Oh
speed with
Mama,
items
god.
in bonus.
it's
Bonus.
fine.
Bonus.
It's
No, play it in
fine.
bonus. Alright. We're gonna play it in bonus.
Oh
Oh,
no.
really?
But this map is bug.
This
No.
one is so. I always get stuck.
Me too.
Okay, so the trick is to not be bugged. It's like don't freaking use the cannon while you're falling, or else you'll bug it. You'll stay in
Okay.
the same spot. I know
Okay,
because that
noted.
happened to me way too many times.
Okay,
Good job,
noted.
Boyd.
So
Good
Egg is in
job.
the room, so this will be interesting.
Wait, is Kaito here or he isn't?
Yeah, I'm in the voice
He's
chat, but
here.
not
Only
you.
Lynn.
No, I mean
Only
he's not in
Lynn's
the.
not here.
Yeah. I'm coming now, though. I'm
Your one
coming.
hit is useless here.
Yeah, I know.
It is.
Sad life.
It is.
Finally, it's working. I'm coming. I'm coming. I'm coming.
We just started
No, it's fine. I haven't even logged on yet.
because it's fucking canon. Wait, what's the placings again?
125.
Mm?
Oh my god.
What the?
Here.
Welcome back, Betty.
Come back to answer the question.
Eight? Oh, eight is here. Oh no.
Oof.
Oof.
What is even
Oh
Dr. Helenic?
no.
Dr. Heal.
Dr. You.
I hate Malai.
You're still saying heal.
Yeah, no, I'm doing that on purpose.
Oh, I thought you got Eris autism.
Oh no. Gay
See, I'm gonna
man.
get stuck with all the Fury tile, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me.
I might go to bed now, though.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh my god, struggle.
Oh my god, I really want to
What?
win this way. Oh.
Why do I have one hit free? I'm gonna cry now. It's hard.
Oh, Zenla.
Yeah. Yes, yes.
You see who?
It's not Jonah, he
Jonah.
said. Yeah, it's not him.
Huh? It's not him?
It's not him. It's just someone.
Someone.
Okay, time to furry.
Oh god, I've already gone. Run.
Oh
Right.
no. Oh fuck.
And the Fury Fest
And the
begins.
Furious begin.
Well,
Okay, yeah, it's like you gotta
The-
break through before that happens.
let the Festival of Furies commence.
I
I'm
wish I
just
had Fury protection, I really do.
If only you had 100% Fury evade, Minty.
I know, that would be incredible.
Oh, I'm not 20. I'm like 12, 13.
I might go, though.
Oh,
I want to
fuck.
go to bed.
Oh no.
No.
Aww.
Oh my god, I can't get past this shit.
I'm gonna go to
Ooh,
bed. See
Thomas,
you
ooh.
guys.
See ya.
Bye.
Good night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye. Oh my god.
Oh my god, what is wrong with the character?
Are we just like furring really bad?
Oh my god, the spam of the voices.
Oh
Oh my
no.
god, I was just about to Fury and I got Furied off.
Oh my
Nice.
god. Fuck all this.
I actually hate
Stop
this map
hitting
so much
me.
because of the Furious.
Stop
Oh my
hitting
god.
me.
Oh my god, the Furious are
Oh, you know what?
killing me
Fuck this.
off.
Stop hitting me.
Keep hitting her.
Just end my
Ugh.
suffering.
See, I don't know if I've got my normal acceleration because normally that I'm doing. Oh my god.
Oh my god, Arch.
Fury.
God
Why?
damn it, Brayden.
He thinks you're sin.
Someone furred me back to the beginning.
Oh, finally here, finally here.
I'm just waiting to be thrown back by Fury. I really am.
Honestly.
Oh, can all of you
I've been
stop
stuck at this
furying?
part. Oh my god.
Okay, I'm
I'm gonna
staying
win
here.
this.
Oh, okay, never mind.
I
Push me
mean,
off.
where's my rope?
Somebody ended.
Oh my
Oh.
god, I actually can't do anything. Furied off.
Oh my god! I reached the new part.
Good job. I'm proud of you. Just kidding.
Why is Pretty Boy still going?
Yeah,
Because
good
Pretty Boy
question.
is
He's
gay.
so laggy.
Because he's gay, that's why.
Oh, okay.
Wait, so if Betty is like streaming, is our like
Oh,
our
Nokia.
voices in like stream?
Yes.
Wait, I want.
Yes.
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 Oh god. Okay.
Yes.
Hello, Ken.
Everyone can
Kenya.
hear it.
Is anyone even watching?
Make sure you don't say anything offensive, guys. 'Cause
Wait,
it's fine.
Someone is gonna get like Betty demonetized. Wait, did Betty just? No, okay. Wait, you just
This
said
Okay.
video is
that?
gonna get demonetized anyway.
Okay, one true fact for all the YouTube viewers to hear that Kaito is really gay.
Shut up.
That's what it. Shut up, Kaito.
Can we get the Riding Hood for the bonus?
Ready?
Wait, they can hear us?
Yes, they
Yes.
can.
Oh, the struggle.
But is anyone even watching?
Wait, let me check.
Betty, you're
Yeah,
gonna do
checking
lots
too.
of editing. Lots and lots of editing.
7 watching, 6 watching.
Oh my god, yes, Elsie.
Yeah, but it's LC normal.
Yeah, I'll see no.
Okay.
Oh,
Everyone
no.
can hear us.
It's okay, it's okay.
It's not
Elsie
bonus.
normal is fine. Elsie
bonus.
normal is fine.
Wait, how many winners already?
None.
I don't know.
Oh, really?
Joey's a
Yes.
winner. Joey's a winner.
Joey is
bloody
trash.
do. I never win events. So
Me too. I never win event either.
the only time
Same.
I win events is in my own event, and I don't know how that works.
Wait, Yari's still here? Wait, where's Yari? Yari's
Yo,
Oh,
not
he
here.
went to
went
sleep.
He left. He went to bed.
Oh,
He went to
The
get
kid
laid in
went to
bed.
bed. Oh my
Oh.
god.
Get laid. Is that items?
Okay, so 1, 2,
No,
7,
no, no.
8.
Okay.
1, 2, 7, 8. Okay.
1, 2,
Doable.
7, 8. 1, 2, 7, 8. 1, 2, 7, 8. Let's go.
1278, 1278, 1278, 1278, 1278.
Shut
Double
up,
jump,
shut
double
up,
jump,
Guys,
shut up.
remember, double
jump.
jump.
Double
Double
jump.
jump.
What
Double
the
jump.
fuck?
What the fuck?
How did I die?
Wait. Minty, you
I
were
was
just you were
literally
the
in
one who
the same
said
line
What
as
the
other
fuck?
people who were in front of me, and I died.
but you I love it how you all were the one who said like don't be rude, but then you were the first one to cuss.
Oh my god, how did you die?
I was. People were in front of me, and I still died.
Aww.
Like, what the heck?
Oh my god. This is why we don't play LC.
Well, guys, I'm really
Yeah.
gonna do well with that 20th place.
Hey,
Oh, you
that's
got
the best.
20.
I got 19. 19th.
I'm third. Okay, time to furry these.
I'm blue, yeah, but
Oh my god.
Oh, I'm just
I'm
Why is
hoping Lynn
Len
actually dies.
alive? Len is the only one who's alive.
Is Lynn dead?
No,
Horrible,
I'm
horrible GM
first.
representation.
Okay.
Horrible GM representation.
is Len gonna win?
Probably
Wait,
not.
I just realized Len rhymes with win, so you're gonna win.
Oh wow.
Nice.
Is she? Is she gonna win though?
She's gonna win.
I
Good
hope.
leave.
But I'm only
She
gonna get
needs
1 point.
one
I'm
or
only gonna get
two.
1 point.
It's okay. Just do what I do. Just play for fun in the points. Just win in the bonus.
Just don't forget 1, 2, 7, 8.
1, 2, 7, 8.
1, 2,
Double
7,
jump, double
8.
jump, double jump.
Double jump.
I was in
She,
second. Oh, I almost
Oh,
died. I almost died.
Oh.
That was
I
good. That was good.
almost
That was
died.
good.
Oh my god.
double jump.
I'm putting so many blockers. Oh wait. Why did I hear myself? For a moment?
Okay, she's dead now.
Man, am I what?
How do you survive, Lynn?
There's Zac
No
Efron.
idea.
Go, 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 Len, go. Get your second place.
Why would you get that?
Oh no 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 no. I have no dash left. Oh my god. I had 0 dash left, so
Aww.
Actually, I should have died at the beginning of the map. So I can jump to second. Look at that, I'm using bugs at its finest.
Oh.
How many winners? 3 winners?
300.
Awesome.
Oh no.
Oh
Game
boy.
app.
This is over now.
Oof. Oh my god,
What?
no way.
Don't
No,
Betty,
no, no,
don't
no.
you dare.
Absolutely
Jordan,
not.
Don't you
Jordan, no,
dare.
No,
Jordan, no.
no, 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 no,
Demote.
no,
Demote.
no, no. Demote.
Gimont.
Demote.
Demote.
Demote. Demote. Demote.
Is someone
Demote.
eating chips?
I don't know.
Is somebody eating chips?
I've
Peter,
just
you
reached into a bag of banana crisps.
Oh, wait. Banana crisp? I won't. Give, please.
Share or go home. Or play Cinderella.
Actually, no, share, or I will go to your home.
Oh wow.
1, 2, 3, 8.
Failed my diamond.
Tanggal 31.
Satu.
8, 57.
Wow.
Merdeka, merdeka, merdeka.
Whoa, it's really hard to miss the witch on this one.
Yeah.
Hit all of
Betty,
you.
can we get Riding Hood for bonus?
Oh please, bonus, please.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Oh
I
my
mean,
god, I really want this, oh my lord.
Me too. I actually want a
I got
prize.
furry.
I
I got
actually
furry. Oh
want
my
a prize.
god. The cannon canceled my furry? What?
Yeah, the Cannon cancels Fury.
Oh my god, shit.
Is this the first day you're playing TR?
Holy shit. That's Europe.
I'm just
Oh
getting
my god.
smashed by everything.
Me too. Let me get it
Someone's
placed.
furry.
Oh my god, I'm definitely not 8 for sure.
I got
oh,
9.
wow.
I got
11.
9.
I dropped from 8 to 18. Wow.
Watching Betty play this map makes me like just wanna. I don't know. I'm too bad at this map.
Oh, okay. I'm
How is
just
Aaron
standing on.
second?
I'm just standing on Len. It's fine.
Wow.
Huh? Oh. I'm ninth
Aw.
place, seriously.
I got
Carry.
I got my sympathy point.
Welcome back. What's funny?
Oh, welcome back.
I'm providing ASMR for you all.
Oh, actually, that's very true though.
Everyone can
wait,
hear me
who's-
eating.
Wait, who's Joey again?
Joey's minty.
Minty.
Oh, right. Is this supposed to be a staff chat or is this an ASMR?
It's an
It's
ASMR staff
apparently
chat.
an ASMR chat.
It's
Oh
it's
my
a
god, you
replacement for the ASMR chat because yeah. Wait,
ASMR.
disgusting.
Yusuf tayo. Lin.
Yeah?
Lin.
1, 6,
Yeah?
7, 8. Oh boy.
Never forget you soft tayo.
The advertisement.
Yes.
Wait, why is it the same map? Oh god.
Because it's
1, 7, and 8. Wait, what?
Oh my lord.
you soft tayo.
Okay, Joey, you can do this. It's 8. You were born for this.
Catch me getting 9th. Actually, no, I won't. I
I
won't
got
even
9
get
just now.
anywhere close. Because I'll get Fury
Y'all
or
just
something.
y'all just wait for
Eight.
bonus, I swear.
Wait, what's the
Yeah.
place again?
8,
1,
1,
6.
6,
6,
7.
9.
1,
What?
8, 6, 7.
Oh, come on.
Is this without items?
Yeah.
Ugh.
Thank
Well, it
god.
better be without items.
Wait, this the bonus or?
No,
No.
still
No.
main round.
The bonus wouldn't have like that many places.
The main round's taking forever.
1, 8, 6, 7.
Oh, come on. Let me reach at least 10, you bastards. Who's playing as Kai?
Huh? Wait, what?
Who's playing as Kai?
I'm playing as
Not
myself.
me.
Let me be 8, you bastards.
Oh, fuck, I got
I'm
psyched
7,
out.
I'm 7, I'm 7, I'm 7. I'm 7.
I'm fine with 22.
How are you even 22, dude?
I just kept on slipping.
I'm angry.
Same.
Hi,
Oh,
Angry.
Minty. Oh, Joey.
How is Mente number 3?
70th.
I got psyched and just went straight to finish.
Stop fairy maps.
Oh,
Where are the map diversity? Is it bonus?
It's a bonus. Wait, I didn't get a charm for a poll. What?
Who won?
is it bonus yet?
Oh my
First one
gosh,
out.
it's Ree.
Ho, ho, ho.
Ho, ho, ho.
Christmas came early.
Ho ho ho.
Oh, that's me. Hi.
Hi, ho, ho.
Wait,
Everyone can hear your laugh.
Sorry.
No. I mean, this when it's barely streaming.
I love my
How
own
many
jokes.
people are listening to us? What?
wait,
How
how
many
many people?
views?
Like, there are 6 people, including me, so there are like 5 more.
Oh yeah.
Ho 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 ho. Merry
Oh
Christmas.
no.
Oh,
There
Christmas
are
came
waiting
already.
for
six, 6 watching.
Yeah, that's
Wait,
including me.
no. No, why you do this to me, Betty?
Oh no no no.
Oh no 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 no.
Ugh,
Ew,
stop
I'm
Oh.
so
being
sorry.
Betty.
Yada yada yada. I hate this.
Yada.
Ay,
Yamete kudasai.
it's
I
okay.
can't wait to be screwed
my
over by chicken.
Is it wait, is it
Already.
item 1?
This map is shit.
You're shit.
No
Already.
you. No you.
You're
2
so shit.
winners are left.
One more time you're calling me that, no more PK Thunders for you.
You haven't even Pikachu in like years.
Exactly.
1 to 5. Okay, 1 to 5.
No more
1 to 5.
Pikachu's for you. Oh, speaking of Pikachu's, I actually pre-ordered that Pikachu bag.
Wow.
Wow.
I actually did.
Why?
Pikachu, I choose
Because
you.
it's a Pikachu bag.
Okay, that's fair
It's
enough.
gay.
You should show me the bag when it comes to.
I mean, if they had Eevee, it would be so much better.
Oh, Evie, do you remember Jane?
No.
Wait, you know
Sorry?
Jane, right? You know Jane?
Uh-huh. Yeah, Jane T.
Yeah. You saying
Mhm.
Evie made me remember her.
Sorry?
When you said Evie, it reminded me of her.
Eevee. Oh, what's the places again?
1 to
0.
5.
1, 2, 5.
1, 2, 5. Okay, 1, 2, 5. 1, 2, 5.
Oh my god.
Oh my lord. Oh my lord. Putang ina mo, bobo. Let me
Just hit it.
win.
Wow, rude.
What the fuck?
I'm first place. How is this possible?
Oh,
It's
Oh
not.
no.
You're cheating. You're cheating.
Yeah, probably.
Can all of you stop fearing me?
No.
Seriously?
You all deserve chickens.
You're
Wow, I
cheating.
just got destroyed right at the very end.
Well, I'm never gonna make it.
Oh no no no! I missed my 5.
No.
Someone is angry.
Did someone win? Oh no.
I can't make a single character like max stats.
Someone give me, please. Oh yes. I'll save that for
Oh
bonus,
my
please.
god.
No. Save that for bonus. No.
I just want bonus. Oh, come on.
Oh really? Thanks.
Can't wait to get wrecked.
Yes.
Yay.
Same.
Yay.
Oh whoa,
1, 2,
generous.
5, 7, 8. Oh
Our
my god.
daily our daily
Okay, let's
activities.
go. We have 1, 2, 5, 7, 8. Okay, we can do this.
Our daily
Let's see.
activities
But it's
include
probably
all
not
of us
gonna happen.
getting wrecked.
Joey, try not to get worried over and over and over.
I mean, I'd be lucky to
I
get
need
in the
my
top.
second point.
Mm, I don't know about you, but I'm gonna win this for sure.
Yeah,
Same.
right.
I will get my second point only.
Same.
And I
This
won't
is
get
bad.
the Let's go.
He's gonna get 1 point.
Imagine if 5 of us actually gets placed here.
Nice. That'd be nice.
That would be actually nice. Okay, let's go.
Minty, your fashion is the reason why you're losing.
Fuck all of you want.
Hey, I'm looking cute in my little frog thing.
You little
Really?
frog.
Wow.
What the fuck? All of you stop hitting me. Jesus Christ.
Get in
Everyone already
front.
threw it.
Get-
Oh shit! I almost died. I almost died. Oh my
I
god.
almost died. I almost died too.
Who ferried me?
Oh my god, I died.
Stop
That sucks.
hitting me.
Oh no,
What
this
the-
is not good.
Mm. Oh.
What are the
Oh,
places
hey.
again?
Okay, Joey's alive. 1278. Yeah, 12785.
Is there a sympathy point for 14?
No.
Someone said you were gonna win the map, guys.
I did, but it's supposed to be easy, but
You're
Nah.
Got Fury.
Golem. Golem.
is Link gonna die?
I'm first
Oh my
place. I might
god. Don't
die.
jinx her. Don't
I
jinx her.
almost died. I almost died. Oh my god.
Again. Somebody died.
Oh shit! I
Oh,
died.
she's
I died. I
dead.
died.
Guess who got ninth?
Oh my
you go.
god, Minty.
I'm second. I'm second.
Ninth.
Second.
Disconnect someone.
Second.
Disconnect.
Second.
Dara XZ, if you're watching this, I hate you.
Oh,
He's
fucking
the same
tree.
person. He's the same person.
Oh damn.
You
Oh.
fooled me.
Everyone exposed
seriously?
Dara XZ. She's getting back, the bitch.
Direct Z.
Did you hear that, Lin?
That piece of shit.
I'm second, so shut you.
Ay.
And TR in this bug system.
Yeah.
Minty almost had his first point.
But no, Dara XZ had to ruin my plans.
Z, if you're watching this, I hate you.
Consider being banned from all of my events from now on.
Oh, what the hell?
Someone's really mad.
Dara XZ, if you're watching this, Minty doesn't mean it.
That's what you like to think.
He's gonna crash you anyway.
Oh,
Oh,
that's
get
true
ready.
though.
2 points.
Betty, why you pick the easiest map in normal and you throw us with HC and Dr. Hill in bonus?
Morning
What's your
Tower.
problem?
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Listening to Hita, Yon,
What's
and
the places again? I've already forgotten. 5,
What do you
1,
mean?
4,
This is
5,
zero.
8.
8.
wait, what were the places? 1, 2, 4,
1, 4,
8.
5, 8.
4, 5, 8.
Oh, 1, 4, 5, 8.
Oh, 1, 4, 5, 8.
What?
Alright.
One,
But
four,
But I'm
three,
not
one,
gonna
four.
need it for sure.
Okay, this one should be easy. I just have to stay
Wait,
one.
there's a lot of
Whoa.
people with 2 points
Oh
right
my
now.
god!
Oh, how
Y'all are
how did all
stupid.
of you die?
Y'all are
Someone
stupid.
pushed me.
Yes, you all are dumb.
Stop pushing.
Stop pushing.
Stop pushing.
People keep pushing me forward.
You know, you gotta work to push.
I swear to God, I will kill you next.
I remember Neo got so pissed at me at this map because I put the placing as 5 instead of first.
Oh my God. Hold
What's the
on.
first wave? I don't even know.
People are throwing themselves inside. Is Minty still alive?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
at the minute anyway.
Surprisingly.
Oh, there you are. This is like an easy point because no one knows how to.
Is someone watching me? Betty, are you watching me?
Are you watching me?
Oh god. No.
Watching
Oh,
Right, I fucked now. I'm gonna die.
okay.
I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die for sure. Oh my god, I really hate this.
I just died. I just
This-
died.
Wait, hold on, slow,
How can you
steady.
die at the first phase? How? I just died for some.
Tita, you're just teleporting. Yeah, I can so fully guess that.
Go Minty.
Wow,
Oh, yeah.
nobody likes me.
Minty, the other side. The other side. Continue going. Yeah, okay. Yeah. Continue.
Is Kia for spells alive?
Yes. Joey nailed it.
But I'm 100% not
Okay,
getting.
go. Get your
Oh,
first.
Joey, look, Joey is Dara XZ. He's getting second.
Oh my god, I got second.
Oh, really? Nice.
Please tell me that. No! Oh
Oh
my
my god.
Suicide. Actually
Oh,
committing
Minty.
suicide.
Oh, Joey.
I am actually committing suicide. Isoka, you are also banned from my events.
Oh, Kira.
Wait, did you win or something there?
No, she just got a point.
Oh,
I'm pretty sure it's another winner already.
oh, you got a point.
Yeah, there you go.
It's because I couldn't see Hisoka anyway.
Same. I was like, Minty, you got first, you got first.
Joey, do HC speed block.
Because I can do Leaning Tower. I just add Lizard so that I get up quick. I always end up going back.
There's 3 bonuses. Hello.
Yeah,
Yay,
3
bonus.
bonus.
Oh.
Oh my god, pick a good map.
Mm,
Pick a good map.
Oh, I have an idea.
Speedy block HC. Speedy block HC. Oh, Labo.
The super
Yes.
casted one.
Oh, nice.
Be the block. No, go Labo. Do Labo.
This is that Betty.
Okay.
Yeah, alright, let's do Labo.
Okay.
Joey, you got this, Joey.
First.
I really
first,
don't
first.
know. I really don't.
First.
Can I pick map too? Yes.
Pick map.
Watch me die. Like, watch me die and feel so hard.
Watch me
Oh my
die
God.
straight away.
Watch
Wait.
me be good.
Watch me actually succeed this for once.
Yes, please. Yes, please.
Watch me actually winning this.
Watch me, Nine.
Yeah. So let
Let me
Minty
win.
win.
If everyone
That's
dies
my
at the
point of
start,
view.
that'd be really considerate.
Okay, I'm gonna be quiet this round.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Arch. I stole the
Okay, no
last
one
one.
says double jump and oh my god.
Stop being gay.
I've got a slow start. Shit. I can't make it. They're all too far in front.
Tita, it's me and you. Ah! Where's
Oh, I
Minty?
died. Oh, fuck.
Oh, Minty's doing it. Hold on, Minty's still alive.
Good job, Minty.
Go, Joey. Who's the first?
Go, Minty.
Wait, Sunny's at the first sunlight. No.
Oh, Joey.
Ugh, Takomaki won.
Oh,
This
god
is
damn it. I
over.
lost.
Done.
I lost.
Who won?
Takomaki.
Gotcha.
the
Takumaki.
Takomaki.
I lost.
Congrats, Takomaki.
That come.
See, I can
Sensi.
do it. I'm just not fast enough on this.
You should have said 7.
I know. It's okay. I'm just hoping another good map is good as in a map I actually know how to play.
Apa? Apa you nak? Apa you mau? Apa you
Apa?
mau? Please.
What? Oh, Ark is whispering me. I'm stuck
Why?
in the verification
okay.
screen.
Oh, that sucks. Relog.
Relog.
Yeah. Fuck
Oh
Noble.
my
We did
god,
that.
why would you pick Nolbu?
Oh my god, that would be 3 times.
Oh yeah,
We
do
did
it
it
again.
already.
Do it. One, pick one.
But we did it 3 times.
Oz, no.
Okay, do Oz. Why not?
Oh, why?
Aw.
One.
Aw.
Definitely
You-
one.
Oh, come on.
Oh, fuck.
Has any of the staff actually won?
No.
No.
Fuck's sake.
Oh, yes. Yes. Items, yes. I accept defeat.
Items. Ah. No, don't.
No.
Just so I can do another
No.
round.
Just do one regardless.
Joking. No.
I mean, you can just do one regardless.
Wait, what's the place?
One.
Oh,
One.
Okay.
One.
Babo.
One.
Pabo.
Bubble. Boo boo.
Babo means keep it in Korean.
Boo boo.
Saying.
This one.
Yeah.
Oh
Well, I
god,
hope
I
not this run. Oh, come on.
messed up
Really?
already.
I lost.
Oh, I forgot that we put items on.
I'm
Wait, there are items.
first. What is this?
I accept defeat.
I accept defeat.
You're third. I'm 24th. I've never done this bad in this map before.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Fuck off, man.
Did you say fuck off?
Yes.
Why?
Oz is a dick map.
Oh wait, Oz. Okay, I heard Oz as in like Oz.
Are you okay?
No, I'm not.
Well, at
Okay,
least
I
you know you're
lagged.
not okay.
I'm lagging. Nice.
You feared me twice.
Fuck. I'm gonna give up on this thing.
收皮啦，all of you！
Nicole, you feared me twice.
Oh, serious.
俾我贏啊！屌你老母！
Look at that first. Who got first?
Oh my god. I'm
That's a cheater
dead.
first.
Who is that? Who's that?
That's a cheater first.
What do you mean don't let Sheeta first?
Oh, I chose a really poor time to shoot.
Who won? Oh my god, who won?
Oh my god.
Well, I got
I-
fourth.
I failed every single
Oh,
land
nice.
dash.
I
Wow.
think R1. I think R1.
Ew.
Or
I think he did.
It was
Or-
Excalibur.
Definitely.
uh,
Oh
Excalibur.
no.
Oh,
Excalibur, whatever it is.
Oh no.
wait, is R even here?
Yeah. He's here. He didn't even place top 8.
Ugh.
I messed up.
This is a horrible event. I'm
Yes.
salty now. I am salty.
I'm salty too.
When you're
See
salty
speed
because
block.
I'm
See
minty.
speed block.
Please kick him. Demote, demote.
Demote.
Demote right
Demonetize.
now.
Actually,
Demonic.
can we just do LCE with the first place, please?
Yes,
LCE
please.
first place.
Oh my
LCE first
god.
place.
Thanks and
Demote.
LC.
Demote.
Oh, finally, I can pick map.
Oh my gosh.
LCE first place.
LCE,
LCE. LCE.
No, I don't
LCE.
want
LCE,
Shut up.
LCE,
Error.
LCE.
Play Cinderella.
Error.
Cinderella.
Cinderella's come back. Oh no.
Error.
Wait.
LCE. 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 LCE.
Actually, let's Minty. Let
LCE.
Minty. I will let Minty choose a map. Minty choose a map, yeah. You
Wait.
don't pick LC. I don't like
Oh,
LC.
please.
LCE.
LCE.
No, he's telling us to shut up.
LCE. No.
Thank you.
No. No.
Oh my god, please
No.
speed, please speed, please
Do,
speed, please speed.
do you
please
want me to smack
Error.
you or something?
Error.
speed. What? If I won, I'm gonna give it to you, okay?
You sure?
No.
I don't trust you. I don't trust you.
It's okay.
Eight. Give me 8. I don't mind.
It's okay.
Oh my god.
It's
Oh my
okay.
god.
It's okay.
I'm gonna fight everyone for it.
8 on training.
Yeah.
Are you stupid?
Well, it
No one's
doesn't
gonna
matter.
finish.
8.
Well, it's,
No one's,
oh my god.
no one's gonna finish.
Who plays this map? 1? 1 or 8? Okay, it's 8.
Wait, are
Oh,
you
you're
serious?
stupid. Who's Maggie Smith?
That's what
Minty
you deserve.
Okay, so Minty is Maggie Smith
and
Uh-huh.
Joey.
What?
and Joey. Okay, all of you are weird.
Oh wait,
block
I played.
world.
Oh my god, this map. This toxic of
Oh,
a map.
people can bug here. Betty,
I
people can bug here.
Whoa, I just
People
Yeah,
can
pushed
bug
through
here,
Yeah.
bet.
the block.
I can't play.
Jordan,
I
people
was-
can bug here.
Betty
can bug
and
here.
Bet. No, I won't call him
Yeah,
Betty now.
you see, yeah.
Jordan!
Jordan, you see that? Yeah. People can bug here. So, rematch. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, please
Rematch.
replay. No, replay. This map is buggable.
Redo.
Look at that. People can just jump now from one
I
point to
demand for a redo.
Yeah, look at that guy at first.
I mean, even if they jump and like skip, doesn't matter because it's 8th place, not first.
Because fuck this map, man. Fuck this map.
I'm still at my
Wait.
second lap.
I was fucking 14th.
Someone
I'm-
won.
Oh, I
No.
got 9th.
I got
God.
I got 10.
Minty! Minty! Oh my god.
Is it me though?
Is it
Is
Hita?
No, it's 8 on my screen.
Send.
It's 8 on my screen.
Who
It's
got
8 on
it?
my screen. It's 8 on my
Nick,
screen. It's 8 on my screen.
Yeah, I think you.
Send,
It's eight
send,
on my
send,
screen.
send, send,
Oh,
send,
it's eight on
send,
my
send,
screen.
send.
Is it me though?
No. I
Oh,
disconnected
please, please,
myself.
please,
Oh,
please,
that's
please,
why.
ah.
Please. Yes, yes, yes. Oh, yes!
Who got it?
Send,
She
please.
left Nicole.
Yes.
Send,
Wait,
please.
Hita or you? I disconnected
Hita.
myself. Okay, you all owe me.
I'm sorry, Minty.
Minty, I had 10.
Congrats to you, though.
I was 10, Minty.
Hold on, don't start. I'm coming.
LCE.
Can you not interrupt my speech?
Nick, can you send it to me?
No. No, I'm keeping
I'm
this.
so hurt. So hurt.
Now I'm joking.
Minty, you got 8th or 9th?
I got 9th.
Aww.
I got 10.
Hate Steve speed block. Oh fuck.
Okay, I'm back. Hi.
I'll come back.
Literally disconnecting myself for you guys to win.
Sure. Don't be
What
sharp.
map
Please
is
don't be
this?
Oh
sharp.
my god.
Why are we here again?
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Good timing.
Why are we
Do
here
you know
again?
which version
This
it is?
hard or is
Wait,
this
is
hard?
items on? Is it item on?
No items.
Okay.
Oh
Okay.
no,
Okay.
no, there's
Okay.
I
no.
Okay. Okay.
finally have a prize. I finally have a prize.
Alright,
Send.
top right
Send.
here.
Send.
He does stay away from us. Okay, sure.
Kenji,
She is fine.
Okay, now just die early. No problem.
Someone just died.
Yeah,
disconnect
disconnect.
died.
Yeah, I'm just
Okay,
gonna die.
This is
What
H.
version is this?
Right.
Anyone
H.
know?
Wait.
It's H. H. H.
Wait, this
H.
isn't
H.
H. This isn't H.
It should
No,
be
it's
Oh,
H.
this
yeah.
is easy. This is easy. Oh
No,
my
I think
god.
I think
Oh.
it's E.
Oh. Oh, it's easy.
'Cause-
Oh
Why?
no, that means we
H.
actually have to finish the map way. We actually have to
Oh
finish the
no.
map.
Astaghfirullah. Why?
Oh god.
Someone send, please.
Can I aloha snack bar this map?
No.
What does that mean?
Aloha snack bar.
Wait,
I
really
was
don't?
Aloha snack bar.
That's what I heard too.
Stop being a turtle.
Aloha snack
Error, you have
bar.
Oh my god.
Someone threw me into the freaking red.
No. Okay.
Minty, are you still alive? Minty.
I am at the minute.
Oh my god, Minty.
Ugh.
Oh, I almost ran into the damn wolf way.
Kill Bobzilla. Just disconnect
I'm
him.
trying to.
He knows how to avoid him. Just kill him. Oh my god. Okay.
He just.
He let me
I'm
He
trying.
shoot.
I think he's too laggy. He's too laggy. I can't furry him at all.
Minty.
I'm furry.
Oh, okay, got your fur back.
I can't see. Oh my god. I
I
better
don't
get
know
this
if my
first.
fury will last long enough.
I see pretty points had the wolf.
Okay, we are almost there, Minty. Hold on. Almost there.
Shit.
Prepare. Go, 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 go.
Oh my god, I think I might have got it. I actually...
Minty! Mint!
Minty got it?
Minty.
I actually got
Did
it.
Min
Oh
win?
my god, Mint won
Yeah,
finally.
Yeah, I think I got it.
Did Min
Wait,
win?
wait, yes.
Fingers crossed.
Joey.
What, shall we
Joey,
put me second
Joey,
now?
Joey,
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 Joey, Joey,
No, wait,
Joey,
because I might crash the
Joey,
server.
Joey,
Wait,
Joey.
stop. Okay,
Yes!
Yeah,
Oh my
Joey
god.
win.
Joey-san, thank you.
oh my god.
Okay. I'll send it to you. I'll send it to you.
Wait, me?
Yes.
Really?
Joey, fuck.
No.
Look
Are you
at that.
sure?
One split, one
I
split
don't trust
second.
you.
Minty, why did you make an appreciation speech?
Yeah, you need
I
to make an
did.
appreciation. You need to
I
thank me. You
need
need
it
to think the
too.
inconvenience. You need to think the inconvenience.
Okay, I'm waiting for Lynn to win.
Speed with items. Speed with items. Speed with items. Speed with items.
Shut up.
It's easy win.
For you.
No. Speed blocks HC. Speed block
I can't
HC.
I can't believe I won.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
Super casted.
Supercast.
Supercaster.
Supercalifragilistic.
Super
Shut up.
Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. It's a quite a word that you know one. Super
Oh, okay.
Oh, what the? I DC it.
Oh my
I
gosh.
DC it.
Oh my
DC.
god.
Is it just me?
Griffin.
Len, I
Yeah, just
swear to
What,
God.
Rest in peace,
what
Lynn.
the fuck?
Rest
What
in
the
peace,
fuck?
Lynn.
Len, if I won this, I will send it to you. If I won this.
Okay, I'm waiting for Area to win.
Oh my god.
Pray for me, pray using Odin. Whoever got
Limpy.
I'll even.
Bless
wait.
me.
What? Wait, is it one or?
Obviously, it's one.
Yeah.
Oh my, why am I dying nowadays?
Is the staff about to snipe it again?
I'm trying.
Oh my god, I died.
Kaito, can you snipe it?
I'm like 11th place. I'm not
I
sure if I
died.
can.
Oh well.
Okay, so you died.
Who won? Who won?
Oh, Kaito's still alive. Kaito, go, Kaito.
Kaito's
Kaito,
alive?
go, Kaito,
No,
please.
shut up.
Kaito alive!
It's looking
Oh
like
my
three.
god,
Oh,
just
no.
disconnect. Just
Oh,
disconnect.
R1.
R is left. R1.
Oh, one.
You just made me nervous.
Who?
Wait, I was gonna win
Who?
anyway, so it
R1.
Oh,
Really?
Yeah.
R or
R1.
error?
Wait, he just
Okay.
Oh
disconnected.
no.
Oh, I could have won. I don't even
Who
want the
won?
reward.
I want it.
Yes.
Who won? Who
Oh
won?
my god. What is it all of a
R.
sudden? The staff are like winning.
No.
Can you
Is
please
this
like
planned?
win?
Is this planned?
No. R is low-key stuff. I don't mind. I don't mind if he's stuff. I don't mind if we bring him to stuff. I just want the freaking wing back item.
Staff got
I just got back online. God damn it.
Okay,
Oh man, I
come,
could have
come.
won that, but I messed up pretty hard. I don't mess up there.
No, Dr. Hull.
Wait, is there
Lynn,
one more?
Lynn,
Yeah,
which map
there's
do you
one
want?
more.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
because there is still one more, but staff keep winning.
we added
Yeah.
2 winners because of Mint and I.
Oh yeah.
Wait,
I mean,
Items,
yeah.
This is a
items,
choice.
items, items,
Items!
items. Let me win this for Len.
I'm
Let me
surprised you're not saying Cinderella.
No,
Okay,
this is
Cinderella.
an
Okay, let's go,
important
let's go,
case.
let's go.
This is an important case.
LCE.
Cinderella.
LCE. LCE.
Cinderella or LCE? Okay, fuck it.
Yes, yes.
What? So
Yes,
put
yes.
items on there.
Oh my god.
First.
Items.
Actually, go items.
Oh
I'm
no.
just gonna free everyone. I'm gonna free
Yeah.
everyone. I'm
Yeah.
mad.
Okay, I'm still gonna win
Error, don't
this.
touch me.
Oof.
Error, don't touch
Five
me.
one.
Don't touch me.
Errors
I got
disconnecting.
kicked. Why did I get kicked?
Because you didn't ready.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh my god, why didn't anyone tell me?
Why didn't you ready? Area, you fool.
Precious, I swear to God. Threw me under the bus like that.
Autism.
See, I didn't want to say it because it's stringy.
One.
Okay, nobody touch me. Don't touch me.
Why didn't anyone tell
I'll-
me?
I'm going to get this.
Oh, I
I'm going
just
to
got-
get this. I'm going
I
to
was
get
about
this.
to rock dash and
Oh, bye bye.
jump.
Oh wait, there's chickens, not penguins. Shit.
Oh my god, I just got fury straight into the lizard.
Weird.
That's really sad. Can we get 50 likes?
Like if you
Okay, I
cry
can
every
do this. I can do this. Like just chanting a mantra to myself. I can do this. I can do this. I can do this.
You can. Sorry.
Oh my god! Shut up.
Shit, I almost died.
You deserve that. Almost death.
Please don't
First
fury me.
place more. First place more.
But all these chickens remind me of Jupiter.
Oh, sorry.
First place more. First place.
Lynn's
Come
gonna
on,
win
come
this.
on.
No win.
Come on, come on, come on.
No pressure.
No pressure. No pressure.
Shit.
Oh.
Or somebody,
Oh,
someone could have
you
pushed me
got
out. Oh
so
my god,
lucky.
thing. Yeah, someone they didn't push me. Oh my god.
Oh my god, it's double
Kill
chicken.
Tama, kill Tama, kill Tama, kill Tama. I want to kill her. Let's kill her.
Oh, are you sure you're okay?
Oh god.
I'm I'm so stressed out. Oh freak! This person throwing behind me. Oh fuck.
Oh my
Why are
gosh.
Why are there so many people alive already?
Oh,
Why are there
Boobzilla
seven- oh,
died.
Boozilla just
Boop died.
died.
Boop died.
Tama, get lost, get lost, get lost. Get
Ugh,
lost, get lost,
Tama
get
didn't
lost.
die.
Get lost, get lost, get lost.
I hope you all
Oh
lose.
god.
Wow.
I hope you all lose.
Boom.
Oh my god, three left, three left. Come on, come on, come on, come on.
Come on,
Go
now,
Lynn.
faster.
Go Lynn.
No pressure.
Go Lynn.
Don't go so
No.
front. Yes,
Lynn, you can do it.
Okay. I think you confirmed already, lah, Lynn.
No la, no
Wait.
la. Oh,
Archie,
yes,
Hey!
yes.
Lynn
You
wins.
win.
Oh my god. Hey!
Off again.
Hey! Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Did you win? Did you
Why are
win?
all the staff
Yeah.
winning?
Lynn won just
Oh
now.
my.
Yes, yes.
Can I just win as well? I just need to win.
Me too.
Speed with
Oh my
icon.
god.
The face win.
Oh my
Like
god.
Betty. And
Oh.
I kind of feel bad for Betty because the event is going on for quite a while.
Same.
Same. I actually feel bad for him.
He
No,
didn't
oh, wait.
deserve this.
No, wait, I don't.
But
No arc.
Another KMS round.
Bubble.
pick a fairy tale map, 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 pick a fairy tale map.
It's not
water.
HC.
Oh wait, it's not HC, yeah.
Okay,
Lighthouse.
that's lighthouse.
What the
No,
hell,
wait.
lighthouse?
It's like The map with the water serpent, the one we played in the last event, right? No, wait, I don't know. Yeah, this one.
Super Jump 2.
Super Jump 2.
Oh no 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 no! Jin is gonna win. Don't do Super Jump 2. Don't do Super Jump.
Water HC.
Hell escape.
How
Oh
many,
my god,
how
food is
many,
ready.
how many staff actually won?
Three?
You, me,
Three.
Minty, yeah, three.
And
Oh
Rin.
my god.
So 4.
6.
Oof,
Two, okay.
2.
Oh wait, try it still in this.
Excuse me.
Bless
Era,
you.
are you here? Era, are you in?
Yeah, I'm in. This time I already up.
Alright.
This is what I get for trolling back then.
So are we?
Yeah.
So Era gonna win now?
Hopefully.
For me, maybe.
This is the most cancelled event I've hosted
Wait, is cancelled or
ever.
is it worse? Hey, see, bet you're getting
How many
some love.
winners so far? How many winners so far?
I don't know.
8, 7,
It's 3
9.
plus 2 plus. So far it's 8. This
Okay,
is the
that's
9th winner.
9
The
winners.
ninth.
To win from 3 bonus and 3 to that.
Imagine when like Ben just looks at the event winners.
Yeah.
Please, no more
Oh
staff
my!
win.
Wait, I actually died. Wait, I died. I'm stupid. Okay, I'm hungry, so I'm just gonna go eat. I'll be AFK for a bit.
Okay.
Okay, bye.
Oh, I died. Oh well.
Who's getting it? Who's getting it? Is Era still alive?
I think it's
Yeah,
you
yeah.
know.
So far, Unos is the furthest.
Oh my
And he
god.
died.
I got 3rd.
Wait. Oh.
Someone disconnect the first. Someone disconnect the first.
Just Spencer doesn't realise that it's second.
Nah, Spence. Oh, okay, he
I think it's
died.
you know.
Unos has probably won it.
Fourth minus 2 is like 2. Where you did?
I'm 20.
Watch you glitch.
Oh my god,
You
let
need to
Betty
die.
go. Let it go.
Betty.
Betty, get second.
Oh,
Get second, Betty.
oh, Betty should have gone for second. That would have been
Bug.
This is hilarious.
yes.
hilarious. Let's see if I crash the server.
Crash.
Crash.
You
Okay,
understand it. Finally. Okay.
finally, a non-staff winner.
Yeah, it ended.
You know the staff.
Unos stuff.
You understand. They're just milking it now.
Thank you for playing, guys. I need to pee. Bye.